Well then, these videos seemingly slowly start to pick up, so let's do another one. Also, I have a lot of other stuff going on right now. I hope things go back to normal soon, so I can get out more videos again. Anyway, after I already presented you with a build for Ilya, I think it's time to finally build her servant, Berserker!
But the gladiator, Hercules, whose dad needs a great creator, Hercules. Is it bold? No one's braver. Is it sweet? Our favorite flavor.
So, Heracles, or Hercules, the son of Zeus, probably the most famous of all Greek heroes. He doesn't really need any introduction. But did you know that Zeus is some sort of giant mech according to FGO? Lost Belt 5 spoilers, yay! Anyhow, we all know Herc. He is pretty awesome, and frankly the goals for the builds are rather straightforward. As Ilya likes to say, Berserker is the strongest, so we need all the muscles we can get, and you don't die if you get killed. And good luck trying to kill you anyway, cause you can soak a lot of damage, and most attacks don't even manage to penetrate your skin. Also, you are angry like all the time. Also, as a side note, we don't really care about 9 lives in this build. I know you can use it in unlimited codes, and it is with Phantasm and FGO, but he's actually not supposed to be able to utilize it as a Berserker. Not to mention that it is rather hard to replicate at 100 hits in an instant thing anyway. So, and now let's take a look at his stats using the standard array to give you an idea what your priority should be. We put 15 points in Constitution, you are without a doubt the toughest guy in the 5th Holy Grail War. 14 goes into Strength, you are also the strongest. Frankly, Con and Strength are sort of interchangeable, but starting like this makes more sense for level 1. You will see in a moment. 13 in Dex, you are surprisingly agile for a mountain of muscles, in particular in the UBW anime, and the other 3 are kinda interchangeable. But I would put 12 points in Wisdom, as Wisdom in D&D kinda equals Willpower and Courage, and you got a lot of that. 10 in Charisma, and we are dumping Intelligence with 8 points, because, well, you're a mindless Berserker. You have a hard time thinking because of Mad Enhancement. So, for race, well, Heracles is over 8 feet tall, and he looks like he was carved out of stone, so really Goliath is the obvious choice here. This gives you +2 to Strength and +1 to Gon, meaning you have both at 16 at level 1. You're also proficient with Athletics from the get-go, and you get Stone Endurance. Your skin is so tough that once per short rest you can reduce the damage you take by a d12 plus your Constitution modifier, so yeah, you're pretty tough. You also get Powerful Build, making you better at lifting and Mountainborn. Thanks to an errata that came with Rime of the Frost Maiden, this means you have resistance against cold damage, and you have no problems walking around the Ironspire Forest and nothing was on the Scot. You don't see him complaining about cold. The only thing that doesn't quite work is that male Goliaths are usually bald. But we just pretend that you glued the mane of the Nymeria line onto your head. For your background I would suggest picking up Folk Hero, which gives you proficiency with animal handling, you know how to take care of your uncle's dog according to legend after all, and Survival. You can take care of yourself and Ilya in the wild even as a mindless Berserker. And now for class, well, it may be surprising, but Berserker is a barbarian, meaning you are proficient with shields, light armor and medium armor, not that you will ever use any of these, and pretty much all weapons. For your skill proficiencies I would recommend picking up Perception and Intimidation. All you do is to roar at people, and those people better run away when they hear you. You learn how to rage twice per day, halving any bludgeoning, piercing and slashing damage you take, and you get +2 to all your damage rolls, as long as you hit them with a weapon that uses strength. In addition to that you get unarmored defense. I don't think that your skirt is considered armor, so your AC is now 10 plus your dex and con modifier, which would be 14 at level 1. At level 2 you get Danger Sense, which gives you advantage on dex saves, which is actually in character for Berserker as he has the Mind's Eye Fake skill. And you get Reckless Attack, which allows you to give yourself advantage, but in exchange every attack against you has advantage as well. Needless to say, Berserker always attacks recklessly, because who cares if you get hit when you are as tough as he is. At level 3 you can now rage 3 times a day, and you get to pick up subclass. And while you are maybe known as Berserker, we don't take the Berserker subclass. Instead we take the path of the Salad. You are a literal demigod, so it's the obvious choice. In FGO, the divinity skill manifests as a flat damage boost, and you get that in D&T as well with Divine Fury. While you are raging, the first creature you hit takes an extra 1d6 plus half your barbarian level in necrotic or radiant damage. You also get Warrior of the Gods, which allows people to resurrect you without any material components. So as long Ilya has spell slots to cast Revivify with, you always come back even if the enemy somehow manages to kill you. So we are on the right track. In addition, thanks to Tasha's Cauldron of Everything, you get Primal Knowledge to gain proficiency in one additional class skill. It's an optional class feature, so you might not get it if your DM doesn't allow it, but this means you are also now proficient with nature. You would get an additional proficiency at level 10, but since you are already proficient with all your class skills, that isn't really relevant. You could benefit from it more if you take a different background though, or maybe your DM is chill and just lets you pick some other skill. At level 4 you get an ability score improvement, and since Berserker is the strongest we want to max out strength first, pushing you up to 18. With your 5th level in Barbarian you get extra attack and your movement speed increases by 5 while you are not wearing heavy armor. You're surprisingly fast for someone your size. At level 6 you can rage 4 times a day and you get Fanatical Focus, allowing you to reroll a failed saving throw once per rage. Once you hit level 7 you get more benefits out of your Mind's Eye. Now you have advantage on initiative rolls, so you can hit fast and you cannot be surprised at the beginning of combat when you enter rage immediately, and since you are always angry, that's a no-brainer. Again, thanks to Tasha, you also get Instinctive Pounce, which allows you to move up to half your speed when you enter your rage, making you even faster. At level 8 we use our ability score improvement to max out strength, but you are not quite the strongest yet, only because you hit the normal maximum a player character can reach. As soon as you hit level 9 your rage damage bonus becomes +3 and you get Brutal Critical, allowing you to add an extra damage die when you score a critical hit. This is by the way where I would recommend to use that Great Axe from your final ascension art, as 3d12 have a greater damage potential than 5d6 you would get with a greatsword. In either case, ask Shiro in the Fate and Heaven's Field route how a brutal critical to the stomach feels like. With 10 levels in Barbarian you get another subclass feature, this time around Zealous Presence, allowing you to use your bonus action to unleash a battle cry to give up to 10 creatures within 60 feet of you advantage on attack rolls and saving throws until your next turn. I mean, there's nothing that indicates that Herc can do something like that, but sure, why not. At level 11 you get Relentless Rage. Now, every time your HP would drop to 0 while you're raging, you get to make a con save, and if you succeed, you drop to 1 HP instead. It starts with a DC of 10, and every time you use it, the DC increases by 5. At this level you get up to 4 uses out of this. Not quite the 12 lives God Hand gives you, but as long as you take some short rest to reset the DC, you should be fine. It is also worth noting that Herc in FGO also gets 4 guts, 3 from his max bond CE and 1 from his skill, so that's pretty fitting actually. Once you hit level 12 you can rage 5 times per long rest and you get another ability score improvement, which we use to raise our con by 2, which gives us more HP and a higher AC. At level 13 you get another brutal critical dice, so you can smack your enemy for 4d12 when you hit them with a net 20. And at level 14 you become an almost unstoppable juggernaut as you gain Rage Beyond Death. You don't fall unconscious when your HP drops to 0 as long as you're raging. You still have to do death saves on your turn, and if you fail them, you still die, but only after your rage ends. Meaning that your enemy has to either stall you for 10 combat rounds or restrain you so you cannot attack anyone, like Gilgamesh did in UBW. And even then, you only die if your hit points are still at 0 when your rage ends. So as long as you get healed once, you are in the clear. You are literally too angry to die. But even restraining won't work anymore once you hit level 15, as you get Persistent Rage. Now your rage only ends if you fall unconscious. Good luck with that. Or when you choose to end it, meaning you are now functionally immortal. You simply don't die when you get killed. Really, you could in theory take on the Tarask one-on-one and win, since it can't really do anything to get rid of you. At level 16 we get another ability score improvement to max out your constitution, but it's not quite yet on the level of a demigod. Also, your rage damage bonus is now +4. At level 17 you now crit for 5d12 worth of damage with your Great Axe, as your brutal critical gets even better. At level 18 it's virtually impossible for you to fail its strength checks, as Indomitable Might just lets you use your total strength score if your rolled result is lower than it and you have a score of 20. At level 19 you get another ability score improvement. You could invest it into dexterity to raise your AC to 17, but at this point it doesn't really matter. So we just takes a tough feat to emphasize how hard you are to kill. You get 2 extra HP for every level you have, so your opponent will have a very hard time to get you to 0 HP in the first place. And we cap things off with your 20th level Barbarian. You can now rage as many times as you want, and your strength and constitution score increases by 4 to a maximum of 24. Berserker truly is the strongest. So yeah, that's it. Don't really have much to add here. It's a very straightforward build. You hit things really hard and you just don't die when you get killed. That's Berserker in a nutshell. The Zealot Barbarian is an almost comical powerful class. Sure, there are still plenty of spells that can mess with ya, but you're functionally immortal and you deal a lot of damage. But what do you think? Would you build Berserker differently? Any other servers you want me to build? Let me know in the comments below. I am Tricky Fox. Stay foxy.
Sly as a fox, you got me under your spell. But you know I'll never tell that I know you know so well. Sometimes